Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like the video. There'll be a lot of opportunity to comment based on what we're doing today. So please drop a comment, let us know what you think. Follow us on Spotify as well if you're listening over there. And yeah, trying to grow the pod. And Michael, so after every week, I clip up some of the moments from some of the best moments that we have from the pod, and I post them on TikTok. So if you're not following on TikTok, follow at Tiki Taka.
Yeah.
There's a lot more clips posted on there than on the Instagram. But I posted a couple of clips.
Yeah.
There's good news and bad news.
What's the good news?
You want the good news?
No.
What's
What's the good news?
You want the good news first.
Yeah.
So the good news is Wolves fans seem to be enjoying the content.
The love what I have to say.
So I posted our clip of talking about Gary O'Neill, and what he's done at Wolves, yeah. And a Wolves fan commented this: "Fair play, football neutrals, and got it spot on. Not many people talk facts about Wolves, but you pair have."
Hey, Wolverhampton.
Yeah,
I might come on down.
yeah. We might be building a fan base.
Yeah, we'll have to do
but yeah, that's like we say in the intro. Me and Michael watch a lot of football.
Yeah.
When we started this podcast, we did think there were many formats it could take. I know, like, obviously other podcasts might do more top 10s, they might do more different type of content, but because we watch so much football, because we can appeal to so many fan bases and have a fairly decent opinion on them, not just be talking out of our asses and actually kind of know what's going on, we thought we'd do that. So it's nice to see that the Wolves fans are enjoying it.
It's also good to see, as you say, fans from like not even the traditional Big Six.
Exactly, because if you want Big Six content, there's so many podcasts.
There's the Big Six podcast.
Exactly. And a lot of people only talk about those teams, but there's 20 teams in the league, and they will need their time. And sometimes that's the most enjoyable part of it,
Yeah, 100%.
Is talking about guys like Michael Elise, what Ross Barkley's doing at Luton.
Never get the love like that.
But we also have bad news, because for as much as people like our content, people don't like our content.
Cool. It's football. It's
just how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you remember last week, we were just talking about Arsenal and Man City in the title race and who should be the favourite, and we did a combined 11.
And they got there's our
people. You know what I realized?
Who didn't they want to see in there?
People just don't know about Gabriel and Tomiyasu.
Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, they weren't happy. They weren't happy with Gabriel and Tomiyasu making our combined 11. They thought,
I can't even believe Gabriel is even getting his nose. Like, Tomiyasu is, Arsenal fans know why he's great, but I can see how other fans don't see it.
Yeah, but they should see it.
They should see it. But Gabriel, I just think that's just like...
Yeah. I think people were surprised we didn't put Saliba in there. But we did say it could have been either one of them.
Yeah.
We just went with Gabriel because
Gabriel's
he's just that guy. But yeah, they weren't happy with Tommy, and I think Tomiyasu's just so criminal.
Tomiyasu in that City team would
Pep. Do you know how much Pep would love Tomiyasu?
He would be you talk about Pep rotation, he'd be unavoidable.
Yeah, he'd be straight in my FPL team. Yeah, clean sheets every week,
bro. Of either foot.
Yeah. He could play him at right back.
Lock the guy up one-on-one.
Mo Salah today.
Yeah.
Tomiyasu at left back.
Doesn't matter. He's Ake and Akanji in one.
Tomiyasu and Walker.
Tomiyasu is Ake and Akanji in one man.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
But I mean, and then one guy actually commented on that clip and did his combined 11 and had like 8 Arsenal players in there.
Yeah.
I think he had Walker, but then he had Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber.
Okay.
Then he had Rice, Odegaard, and I think KDB, and then he had like Saka, Martinelli, and Haaland. But fair enough, man. Back your team. And before we get into this week's episode, we spoke about it a bit off air. I know a couple people tune into this podcast and enjoy what we have to say about FPL. It's just a headache at the minute.
I've been in the gutter for the past 3 weeks, just in and around average.
Every day there's another injury.
Yeah.
Bowen and Paqueta are out now.
How long's Bowen out for? I know about Paqueta.
Well, the original rumor was 3 weeks. Then it went up to at least a month. And then today it's gone down to 2 weeks.
Is that what they're saying?
So, and the issue with FPL is that West Ham don't play till next weekend,
Okay.
but the deadline's on Friday.
So you have to make it. You can't even.
So you're not even going to see David Moyes give his press conference about whether who's fit or not. You're just going to have to gamble.
I think you should probably back it and put him in that he'll be fit, because I don't think Moyes is going to, like Paqueta, they've said he's out for 3 to 6 weeks. That's nailed on.
Yeah.
I don't think he would ever put a team sheet out without Bowen and Paqueta in the Premier League. Like, even if Bowen is 20.
But do you want to transfer Bowen in and he doesn't play?
Yeah, well, that's what I did with Trent. I brought Trent in.
You went early.
He blanked. No, I brought him in last week. I brought him in last week, and he blanked. And this is what we're saying about like missing. Like, you see a guy get, 6, 7, 9, 10, like 3 weeks in a row, and you think, all right, is he legit, or have I just missed the train?
Yeah.
And now Trent's out for God knows how long, and I've got too much money tied up somewhere to do something. FPL is going to get real interesting for the remainder of this season.
Especially these next couple of weeks when there's no Salah and Son.
Yeah, who's going to be stepping up, huh?
Whoever picks their differentials right will go flying up their mini leagues and their tables.
Oh, it needs to be me. I've had too much bad luck. I've had too much bad luck. It needs to be me.
These will be the most important transfers you probably make all season.
Easily.
Because if you get them wrong, you might skyrocket down. And if you get them right, you could go flying up. But we'll move on. And the last topic before we get into today's video, there was obviously FA Cup this weekend. Yeah. So dry. Normally the FA Cup has
something
interesting games.
A talking point.
Thursday night, I watched Palace Everton 0-0.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Don't even want to talk about that. Because Elise's injured. And we know what Everton are on. It was just the driest game. Friday was Tottenham Burnley. And I went out on Friday, so I left that at 0-0, so I didn't even see Porro's goal.
I just saw in the chat Michael Batt.
Yeah.
Estupinha, eat your heart.
Well, it was a good goal from Porro. It
was a good goal.
I don't know what the keeper's doing though. You can't just watch it from that far. At least Vicario died for Estupinhan's one. Then Saturday lunchtime, I thought, this is the one. Sunderland Newcastle.
I missed this.
I haven't played the derby in 7 years. Sunderland have a great record.
7?
Yeah, it's been like 7 years since they played each other.
Since that Defoe goal.
Yeah, that might have been the last one. Yeah.
Damn.
And Sunderland have a good record in. I think they won like 7 out of last 9.
You guys are making me laugh when you're talking about the players coming out saying this is the biggest game of my life.
Sean Longstaff, in the pre-match, Sean Longstaff said this is the biggest game of his career, and he played Champions League in Paris a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he played a cup final versus United last season.
But up in the northeast, that obviously means more. But that
something.
But that one sucked. There was an own goal early on. Sunderland were just so average.
Yeah.
Like, I think Dubravka made one save from a deflected shot. And Newcastle won 3-0 in the end. It was light work for them.
Easier scoreline.
Then I watched Villa Middlesbrough.
You was all in. I haven't watched any football.
Dry. Villa won 1-0. Matty Cash deflection in the last minute.
Yeah, I saw the highlights.
So I think I see it. Yeah, and then Sunday City smashed Huddersfield.
Yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne came on.
That's every year though.
Yeah,
it's City Huddersfield or City Preston.
Yeah,
every year.
Yeah, and then I watched Arsenal, which we will get into just for a bit. Spoke a bit about it off air. And for me, I'm definitely not one of those guys with the bigger fish to fry thing. We're focusing on other stuff. I'm definitely not one of those guys because if anyone who knows me knows that I will always stand on the fact that for me, if you support a big club, if you are a big club, then football is about winning trophies. And we can't just be throwing. Even last year when we lost in the Europa League to Sporting, I didn't like that. I thought Mikel should have played his full strength team, but it is what it is. We ended up losing. I said to Michael beforehand, if we were going to lose that game, because I did think we might win that game.
I thought we was going to win,
especially with it at home and stuff. And we should have. And if, like I said, if we were going to lose that game, that's exactly how I thought we would lose it.
Coming into the game, I was like, we've lost 2 on the bounce in the Premier League. Vibes are kind of down. I knew Arteta was going to go somewhat full strength, and I thought we was going to win 2-1. I was going to bank on us being at home, boys coming out early. Salah, all of this kind of stuff. No VVD, all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. I thought it was just going to sort of play into our favor, and in essence, it did, because the performance itself, bar not scoring, was great. Yeah. Like that first sort of 45, 50 minutes, we were pretty much on top of them. The counter press was perfect. We was always winning the ball back high up the pitch. everybody was getting decent touches and getting a shot on goal, having a decent enough chance. Like we spoke about chance creation earlier on in the podcast in the season, just be like, are we creating enough chances? Or what does this look like? All this kind of stuff. Like, this was one of those games where we were playing good stuff. The ball was zipping around on the floor, and we just, for the life of us, could not take a single chance that came our way. And I think
because Arsenal the game should have been done at half time. It should have been done at half time.
Done and dusted at half time. And I think that is the essence of football, man. The longer you leave it and the longer you go on and you don't get that, you don't clinch it, you don't get that goal, you don't go ahead. And
especially against a quality side.
Yeah.
Because as soon as that free kick was given away,
and
Trent's putting the ball in, that spells danger.
And
especially with, and I don't want to get onto him,
I know,
because I don't think it was his fault.
It wasn't his fault, but I know exactly what you're going to say.
But especially with Ramsdale's goal.
Yeah.
I just think any fast-paced, whipped ball into the box, Ramsdale's going to scare me.
It wasn't. I agree with you,
because Raya could concede the goal,
exact same goal,
but by it just going past him on the goal line.
Yeah,
but I don't think Raya would come out. It just doesn't look good when Ramsdale comes out and does that.
It looks worse. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's tough to blame him because Kivior at the end of the day,
it's not his fault.
Heads it into his own net. Yeah. But when the ball comes in and the keeper doesn't get there, and you just see it nestle into the bottom corner, you think, stay at home.
The keeper's taken out 3 players. 2 of them are Arsenal players.
But you know, with Ramsdale, and this is not Ramsdale bashing session.
No,
it isn't, because he doesn't deserve that.
He made a good save.
Good save. He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that. But you know, in those games when tensions are high or things aren't going necessarily our way, he's here to make
he has the ability to clap at something.
Like just a quick, I'm just going to come out and get this.
Yeah.
Or rather than,
he doesn't have that ice cold temperament.
No. And I think, to be fair, and to give him some love, some credit, early on in the game, he played a great ball to Reece.
Yeah.
Fantastic ball, which we
should have scored.
A lot of us are saying like, that's why Raya's in the team. He's better with his feet. I honestly think Raya is in the team because he makes less rash decisions than Ramsdale.
More composed,
and I think that resonates with Arteta. As I was saying to you before we started, Arteta clearly has the guys that he trusts, and he makes it so evident that I trust you as a player on this pitch.
Yeah,
and it's not a Ramsdale bashing session, but when you see, I haven't even seen the second goal. I refused to. I left at from the 77th minute onwards. I was like, nothing is happening. In this game, like we're not getting anything out of it.
But on a positive note,
he played well.
Reece Nelson, I think played well.
He showed. It's tough. I want to say like he showed either why other clubs maybe should buy him. In Jan or in the summer, like he could be doing.
He's a Premier League winger.
He could be doing an Anthony Elanga thing. He could be doing for a club, lower down the table. And I think it also, for Arteta, I don't know, I think it just gave him absolute clarity on some players of like who he needs around, who he wants around, who he can't put his team about. I thought it was interesting. What did you make of Eddie coming on so late on into the match? I'm not even here to bash Havertz. I thought Havertz missed a couple of good chances, but also created a couple of good chances. He had a so-so game.
The thing with Havertz is, right, and I'll lump this in with the Eddie thing, is, and I spoke to Arman about this as well, because Arman was like, he's seen so many of those Havertz games where you come away and you're frustrated that he hasn't scored, but
he's also done a couple of good things.
You can see what he's offering, right? and that's for me. I came away and I know Havertz should have probably had 2 goals in that game, right? So I'm not excusing him for missing those chances. He's got to take those chances and he's got to do better with that. But in terms of the fluidity that our front line had, Havertz, to me, offered us more fluidity and made us a more dangerous attack than Jesus and Eddie have this season.
Yeah. What I was going to say about Havertz as well is, and this is weird because I agree with a lot of people online in terms of like, there is, I don't know, Arsenal fans or football fans in general are maybe a bit divided on his ability, whether or not he's trash and a waste of 65 million or he's like a good player and we just need to get the best out of him. I don't want to overhype him doing like the small stuff, but I think for the game that Arteta was trying to play, this counter pressing, win the ball high up the pitch, squeeze them. Havertz did everything perfect on that.
Yeah.
Like he was great when it came to cutting off angles, making it hard for Liverpool to play at the back, winning the ball high up the pitch, keeping the ball high up the pitch. He was great at that. Obviously, you want your centre forward to score goals. I want my centre forward to score goals. But I think that is why he gave Havertz the nod ahead of Eddie. I am a bit shocked. I didn't think Havertz had to come off, but I'm a bit shocked that when it was clear that we were missing that clinical ability in front of goal, that Eddie only came on when we went to go down with 10 minutes to go. And
I think the biggest problem is, and we've both said this, is that all four of our main goal threats that scored a lot of goals for us last season are in bad form at the minute. Even if one of them was in good form,
it would be a different story.
We might have won two of the last three that we've lost.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's genuinely been that close.
I saw Saka miss, like, I can't even say chances, but I saw Saka have like touches and miss certain chances that, like, I've just never seen him miss it in that way.
Yeah.
Like complete, like, you know, lack of quality, lack of technique, eye off the ball type of thing. And I'm like, oh, this isn't your game, you know.
But hopefully the break does some good for us.
And I also want to shout out to Liverpool. I cannot lie, because it showed a lot of grit and determination and mentality to stay in that game and to think that there is something for us in that game and to not bend and not fold. And the goal came after Klopp. When Klopp brought on those two 16-year-olds or whatever was going on, I thought, oh, he's like, normally that's a sign to the team that we have what we hold, or we hold what we have, and let's just get out, let's go for a replay.
Yeah.
And for Liverpool to still be pressing forward, to still be doing all of this kind of stuff, like without Salah, without VVD, I think they do deserve a lot of credit for that mentality of coming to the Emirates as well and just being like, I'm still here for the win. I'm still here to. And I think that maybe is one of the things that annoyed me the most, was like, as the game was fading on, it just felt like we accepted that this wasn't our day.
Yeah.
And I don't think players gave up. I don't think they didn't try, but I just feel like
I can understand why the players kind of thought that.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody
that
was
first half.
Yeah.
I don't. Shearer said it should be 5 or 6-0. I don't know about that, but we should have been out of sight in the first half.
Definitely.
But yeah, we'll move on. And obviously, because it was FA Cup weekend, there weren't any Premier League fixtures. We've got a different format for the show today. So what we're doing are mid-season awards. Now, unfortunately, because there were some issues with the podcasting setup at the start of the season, we weren't able to give our beginning of the season predictions. So we're not able to compare that at this point. But we have got mid-season awards. So I'll quickly read them out, and predictions as well. So I'll quickly read them out. We've got player of the season, young player of the season, signing of the season, flop signing, goal of the season, best moment, most improved, overperformer, underperformer, manager of the season. And then for predictions, we've got the title winner, the top 7, the top goal scorer, the bottom 3, and the next manager to be sacked. So make sure you stick around. Be some interesting conversations. I don't know who Michael's picked for these. Michael doesn't know who I've picked for these. We'll have the conversation. And if you agree or disagree with any of the categories, anything that we've said, let us know in the comments. We're trying to get more people comment on the videos, comment on the clips on TikTok. And yeah, who knows, man? If you give us a nice enough compliment, I might read your comment out again. So without further ado, we'll get into it. And the first one is player of the season.
This was actually one of the ones I struggled with the most.
This was the hardest one.
Yeah.
This was the hardest one for me, because I didn't really... Normally, like last year, you could just go Haaland. because he just banged like 25 goals by Christmas or whatever. He was easily going to break the record. So
I
it
know
was
my
easy to pick him. This season, I found this one quite tough. Who'd you go for? Any honourable mentions before you name?
Any honourable mentions? Yes, there's a couple of names swinging around in my head, but I'm indecisive between Rodri and Rice for player of the season.
Okay.
And I'll lay out a case for both of them.
Yeah, speak on it.
Rice, I think it's more so just overachieving my expectations. The consistency, playing every game, the 8 out of 10s week in, week out. You know, we've said it on the pod a million times before. Rodri, because I said it early in the season, and even from preseason, I was like, when did Rodri start adding goals and assists to his game?
Yeah.
And
From the Champions League final.
that's what I'm saying. So from Rodri's perspective, just the fact of he is who he is. He's always been that good a player, but now he's adding goals and assists to his game. City haven't won a game without him. They've lost every game without him. It's night and day. I think about some of the moments already. That winner at Sheffield. You know,
the goal
even,
at Stamford Bridge.
the goal at Stamford Bridge. Even the goal the other day. Where who did
against
they play?
Sheffield.
Again. So I got a lot of time for Rodri just because he's supreme. Like he really, 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 really is supreme. And I think where City, the fact that they're 5 points or 4 points off top or whatever it is, if you take Rodri out that team, I think it's a really open title race. Really, really, really open title race.
But you're gonna have to give it to one person.
I will go. I'll go Rodri to not have a.
Fair. I mean, the people I was looking at, I had Declan Rice as well.
Yeah.
I think the impact he's had since coming to Arsenal. I mean, the last few games his levels dropped off slightly.
Yeah.
But I mean, for 95% of the season, he's been outstanding.
Top, huh?
Probably been Arsenal's best player. That transition period of him coming in seemed to happen so smoothly.
Yeah.
And we said this before, man. We didn't sign him to score match-winning goals.
Yeah.
But the one against United,
he's added that quickly to his game.
The one against Chelsea, the one against Luton, he's had big moments, and he's had big performances in big games. Even at Anfield, he played well. Against Man City, he was man of the match. So yeah, Declan Rice was an honourable mention for me. Someone I didn't actually give it to, but he was definitely an honourable mention. I think he deserves to be up there. Rodri, I think
it's too easy at times.
I just thought Rodri's doing what I know the goals and assists.
That's my big thing. Is I did not expect to see that from him. Like from corners, he just gets his head on things and like.
But for me, I didn't need to see Rodri do that. we always say nobody needed that from Rodri.
No, I agree.
But to know what Rodri does and what Rodri offers, I think the even bigger point that you mentioned is their record without him.
Yeah.
I think that speaks to
he's the MVP,
how massive he is they've had not had KDB for 6 months.
Yeah.
But they're 2 points off the top or whatever.
Yeah.
But every game they've played without Rodri, they've lost.
That's what I was going to ask you.
They haven't had Haaland for however long.
Yeah, it's not.
But Rodri is the guy. And I think that's a massive point.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask us to add this category, but I just thought it'd be too easy of like most valuable player to their team.
Yeah.
And I think it would be, as I said, if you take Rodri out of that Man City team, I think it's an open title. I think Villa could win the title. You know,
yeah.
You put him in there, they become a juggernaut.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
100%. But the guy I did actually give it to was Trent. Because. And I did consider Virgil van Dijk as well, but I didn't want to come here and bring that.
Please.
And
thank you. Thank you.
But the main reason I picked Trent over him was because when I look back on this season and what Trent's done and the goals he scored at the Etihad.
Yeah, Fulham winner.
Yeah, he's come up with big moments. And ever since Klopp changed the system and started putting Trent into midfield, I think Liverpool's record is like 30 Premier League games and 1 loss.
Yeah.
Which was the Tottenham one.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people say they got robbed. And I think that Trent's been a vital part of that. I think, especially with a transitioning midfield and not, I wouldn't say an out-and-out creator in their midfield. I think Szoboszlai's best attribute is almost his energy.
Yeah, it's got 2 lungs. Yeah, 4 lungs.
McAllister's playing deep. Gravenberch isn't really a creator. I think even Pep Linders said it when he came out today and said, Trent's obviously injured, but he's been vital for us creating from deep.
Yeah.
I mean, even the pass he gives to Salah when we played them is outrageous. I just think what Trent's done in that new role and where Liverpool are, I almost had to give it to a Liverpool player because ultimately, player of the season for me has to come from a team that won the title. If we're doing mid-season awards and they're top of the league,
fair,
and they're 5 points clear, or whatever.
I think that's a fair justification. Trent has had a great year, and beyond the criticism that he always gets for his defensive capabilities, he kind of just comes out and says, "All right, but I'm still
and you know our
cup
FA
captain as well now, or whatever."
Our FA Cup game,
It's him, yeah. If he's not there,
almost epitomized the difference between maybe an Arsenal at the minute, because I do think Arsenal have match winners in their team.
Yeah.
Namely Gabriel Martinelli.
I was going to say,
and I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill.
He was literally the first name that came to my mind.
Martinelli's getting cooked. And maybe rightfully slow. He has only scored 2 goals, but I will die. Gabriel Martinelli is a match winner.
He's got that dog.
He is the X Factor guy, but he's just in bad form at the minute. But that game at the weekend, of the players on the pitch, epitomized to me, like Trent's shot that hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
Like, of just like the difference, the very marginal difference between these two teams is Trent has that ability to just put that ball in the box and just cause panic, chaos, and create something from that.
Shout out to Martinelli as well, because he did come on in that game and rip Trent.
Yeah, he did.
First things first.
He did.
I'm taking this wing back.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah. But no, that's fine.
But yeah, that was just because every time Arsenal get a corner, every time they get a free kick, and I remember one of the best I've ever seen do it was Christian Eriksen.
Yeah. Putting a sixpence every time.
Some of the balls, Harry Kane just used to eat it up.
I still remember that one assist from Eriksen to Dele Alli versus Chelsea. In the FA Cup,
he just wraps it around.
Yeah. He had no choice but to put it in the back of the net. He had no choice.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about those ones in open play. I'm just talking about a dead ball from James Maddison's another one who can put a nasty ball in. But Christian Eriksen, when he was at Tottenham, on either side, he used to like the way it used to be a shot that just goes straight across the box, and Harry Kane would just tap it in. And Trent had that. So the fact that he's got that match-winning ability, that X factor, he scored the winning goal against Fulham with like a half volley from outside the box. But like you say, it was a tough one. I did just give it to him though.
No, I'm not mad at it at all. I completely agree with you. You know, where Liverpool are on the table, I don't think anybody would have expected them to be top, really. At this stage.
Exactly.
With a little bit of a cushion as well. So I am not mad at all. I got my personal feelings on Trent, but I definitely think he's been, if not the best, one of the best players in the Premier League this season.
And just so the audience knows, I tried not to have the same name twice.
Okay.
Just because I thought it could have a bit more variety. But yeah, for player of the season, you got Trent from me, you got Rodri from Michael. Neither of us picked an Arsenal player, so hold that. Don't come at us for any bias. Young player of the season. Now, I think the Premier League they do under 23s.
Oh, is it?
But I mean, at this point, the way football is now, you're a grown man by that point.
Yeah, it's true.
Like Saka's under 23, Martinelli's under 23. So we've done under 21, just to narrow down the category. And yeah, who have you got?
I actually have again. Couple of people. Two people. One, he's 22, and the other one is 21.
Okay.
So I got
just ignore the criteria.
Yeah. Well, I looked at his age and I was like, really? Really?
Okay, yeah, go on.
I got João Pedro and Cole Palmer.
Okay, yeah, I looked at João Pedro.
He's 22, but
he scored a lot of goals.
He's still a young player, and I actually had him as one of my like guys to watch this year, and I still admit. He's balled out, but not balled out in the way I thought he was going to ball out, which is maybe more impressive to me because I know João Pedro can be a live wire on the pitch in open play, but he's stepped up and taken a lot of pens. He's now recently scored like more headers and stuff in the box. But I think Brighton have got a really good player there that's going to fit their system moving forward. And he's only 22 years old, and he's been one of the better players. I think, or better strikers. And they constantly rotate, and you have to deal with all of this kind of stuff. And then Cole Palmer's been Cole Palmer. He's 21 years old. He's 6 goals, 4 assists. Like, we've given him a lot of praise and credit on this podcast for leaving Man City and, you know, having a desire to play week in, week out.
And playing well.
Yeah. And he is playing well. And he is a linchpin in that Chelsea team, and he's one of the first names on the team sheet. And he's under 21, which is crazy. And I think this was one of the weirder things, actually, about doing this list. I was like, what, really? Am I 4 years older than these guys? It's nuts. It's kind of nuts. if I was to follow the criteria, I'd go with Cole Palmer for the
Yeah.
sake of his 21. I was thinking about Anthony Elanga as well. He's done well.
Elanga has done well.
He's 21, but I would probably go with Cole Palmer if I was to pick a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And then I'd give João Pedro a shout out as well, just because as I agree with you with like trying to use different names. I think people are getting onto João Pedro in terms of like he's a good player, X, Y, and Z. But I think it is, I think it deserves a lot of credit still.
Yeah.
For what he's been able to come in and do. He was playing championship football last year, you know.
And I think hardly when we did the top 10 summer transfers list, I think hardly anyone had him.
Yeah.
Maybe YV had him, or maybe Adele had him, but I think that was potentially about it. For me, a couple of honorable mentions. One, I do want to mention Garnacho. I know Man United have been bad, and I said this last week.
He has done well though, Garnacho this season.
Yeah, I think this season for Garnacho to be the age that he is and be playing the way he
week
is
in, week out.
in such a bad team.
He's playing week in, week out.
It reminds me a bit of Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe when they came in to an awful Arsenal team and just. But obviously there was three of them that could come in and help us.
Yeah,
he's like he seems to be the only no help, man.
Yeah.
He's got no help.
I mean,
he seems to be the only guy there that
you couldn't have at the end of last season said with any confidence that Garnacho is going to start like 10 of the first 17 Premier League games on the right wing for Man United.
Yeah.
With Rashford scoring the goals he was scoring last year and all this kind of stuff, and this is like a 18, 19-year-old kid who's come in and has not made the position his own. I don't want to go that far, but like it's really actually in Ten Hag's mind, for Ten Hag's short-termism.
Garnacho is the first forward on the team.
He's the guy.
He has to be. And that's the thing, like they're all in bad form, but the one when I watch Man United, when it goes to Garnacho, he's the only guy at this current moment that I think in their front three that I think something could happen here. He could get a ball in the box. He could beat his man. He could do whatever. But his numbers aren't quite where I think they should be, which is why I'm not giving the award to him. I just wanted to give him another honorable mention was Adogi.
He's nice.
He definitely could have won it.
He's nice.
I think the way he's come in first season in the league, where Ange has him playing as like a centre midfielder / like a winger / like picking the ball up in number 10
so areas. I was going to say /
like,
number 10 /
his technical fundamentals are all very sound. He's got a good first touch. He can put the ball in the box. He can score goals. So yeah, he's just impressed me quite a bit.
He has.
And
he's mad young.
Most importantly, he's got the PMP.
Yeah. Hey, to be a left back in this league without PMP,
you can have all of that.
Yeah.
But unless that stuff
God help your soul
is elite, you're just gonna get murked in this league. You're just gonna get run through. Like
Anthony Elanga's having you for breakfast.
It's gonna be nuts for you. So most importantly for him, he's got the PMP that comes with all of that other stuff.
It could actually be quite scary. Should he just get this amount of game time and progress and just get better technically and get better with his positioning and all this kind of stuff?
No wonder Tottenham have already locked him down to 7-8 year deal.
Yeah, because he actually is. He's mad young.
Yeah,
he's like 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
but he's built like he was ready for this league 4 years ago.
Yeah. With that game versus they had versus Saka, I was like,
yeah.
This is,
Saka was twisting him up though.
Saka was twisting him up.
I remember he got booked in that game. Could have had
the only reason I didn't have him in my thing was just because I look at that red card versus Chelsea and I think
but he's 20, man.
He's such a rookie.
And Udogie would have won it. He was second on my list but I think there's a very clear and obvious winner, and it's Cole Palmer. Yeah. I think it has to be Cole Palmer. I think following on from what you said, we've spoken about him moving from City. And not only that, he's moved from City to Chelsea, who, as much as they're in a bad moment at the minute, they're still a big club.
Yeah.
Right. One of the biggest in England.
Yeah.
And for him to go there at the age he is and just kind of carry the team on his back. I just, that sort of, I compared him to Bruno Fernandes in the sense of like his chance creation. Like even yesterday in their game against Middlesbrough, I think he should have had a hat trick. He missed a couple of good chances, but it's promising to know that you're getting those chances. Everything's coming through you. And that Chelsea team without Cole Palmer, I think, would look a bit
different
like a
team.
mess.
No, once again, obviously the theme of these guys is that they're young. He's only going to get better, man. He's literally only 21 years old, and like game time he's going to get.
Yeah, you look at some of the moments he's had. The penalty against Tottenham goes and shushes the
goal versus Luton.
Yeah, the penalty versus Man City.
Yeah,
in the last minute against a team that you used to play for. You grew up there. He's for a 21-year-old. He's shown very like ice cold moments.
Yeah, he's got it, man. He's got that definitely X factor quality of like, I can be a part of winning teams. I can be a linchpin, not even just be a part of winning teams. I can be a linchpin in winning teams, and I can be
I can be a guy that has 30 plus starts.
Yeah,
in a winning.
Easily. I mean, he's got the football brain, and now honestly, he just needs the real world experience.
Yeah.
To bring it home. But I agree with you. I think he kind of at this stage. Yeah. It's been.
I don't even know exactly what his numbers are, but
I think he's got 6 goals, 4 assists.
Yeah,
in the Prem.
Yeah,
just crazy.
But yeah, we'll move on from young player to signing of the season. I'll go first on this one. I had 2. Firstly, the honorable mention for me is Malo Gusto.
I had Gusto as an honorable mention.
Yeah, because
why'd you have him?
I think. Okay, not only is I think Gusto is a good player and a good right back.
Yeah,
both feet, underlaps, overlaps, technically sound, can knock it past the player and find some space. I think that is one of the smartest signings of the whole window, and I wanted to put him in my top 10. I just couldn't get round to it. But Reece James
is not going to play. Yeah,
you know how unreliable that guy is,
and he's 20. Gusto was 20 years old.
Exactly. I couldn't believe he was 20.
Yeah. Gusto's 20.
When I was googling his age to see if he could fit the under 21s, I originally had him there. But I was like, no, you know what? If I can mention him here, then I'll leave it in the under 21s thing. Yeah, Gusto, I think, because now whenever Reece James is out, it looks like you've got a very solid backup. And if Reece James never gets back to that, then Gusto can be your right back for
20 years old. I remember when Gusto signed and he like was releasing these cryptic tweets of like, guys are laughing at me, but I have a plan. I know what I'm doing. It's like, I'm going to come to Chelsea. I'm going to get a name. I'm going to make a name for myself. And then it's like, if I stay calm, I get hundreds of thousands of pounds playing in London. If I go, some other club is going to have to buy me and I'll be a starter over there week in, week out. I definitely agree that Gusto I had him as one of my signings of the season.
And he's played left back.
Yeah, he can do both wings.
Yeah.
And as you said, man, that the reason we had the exact same point, Reece James isn't going to be playing 30 games or 38 games. So your second guy has to be comparable and also willing to be a second guy.
And now Gusto will probably, by the end of the season, have 25 plus Premier League starts at the age of 20 in his first season.
Yeah.
So if he can build from there and just keep getting more and more games,
better.
I think he's Chelsea's long-term right back.
He's been better than Colwill this season, Gusto.
Colwill's been shocking. they're not even... Bro, Colwill's under 21, but I did not even consider
those
him.
Colwill generational shouts.
Even yesterday, he got ripped.
They died down real quick.
But the one thing I will say, and I've said this, he's not a left back.
Colwill, he's not.
He's not a left back. So if we see him play at centre back and he's still getting ripped, then we'll really start getting onto him. But he's not a left back. He's just out there. Poch is leaving him out there to dry.
Somebody tweeted the other day, Chelsea spent 80 million for Fana and nobody talks about it.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, they have centre backs for days. But the guy that I am giving it to is my guy.
Yeah,
Anthony Elanga.
Oh,
signing of the season, right? One of Eric Ten Hag's biggest mistakes. The guy who left Man United came out after they beat Man United and said, I wasn't appreciated. I didn't feel like I didn't get the love treatment I deserved. And you weren't, man, because you're a top player.
You are a top player.
And
guys was actually
in the Premier League, when you see, if you're a fullback and you see Anthony Elanga,
it's a long day.
You know it's going to be tough.
You've got to be on it.
You know he's going to be running.
If he does that knock and run, you better have those 5 yards.
He might be the fastest player in the league.
Oh, good.
He is rapid.
I wouldn't even want the ball into the back post and Anthony's just behind me.
Yeah.
He's got to leap for days.
Yeah. And the thing is that the athletic side of Anthony Elanga, I always knew he had.
He had that.
From when I remember this at the Emirates so clearly, there was like a 15, 20-yard chase between him and Nuno Tavares. And Nuno Tavares at the time,
no slouch.
Nobody was beating him in a race.
No slouch.
And Anthony Elanga gapped him, and I was like, yeah, okay, this guy is fast. But aside from that, he's added the
Goals and
composure, the
assists.
goals, the
Yeah,
assists.
yeah.
He's scoring goals from headers. He's scoring goals right foot, left
Yeah,
foot.
yeah.
And there's no doubt that
He's a prem winger.
he would play for Man United. He'd start on either wing for Man
It's
United
true.
at this current
It's
moment.
true.
And I think Forest signed him for maybe 15 million.
Yeah.
And I think, the output that they're getting, just the issues he'll cause a fullback, he was my signing of the season.
No, I look, from where you're coming from, I hear it.
Yeah.
You've been on him all season.
Yeah.
He's overperformed. He's outperformed, as you've mentioned, all the United wingers. And it is kind of a good deal from Nottingham Forest perspective of only 15 mil. You know, there's going to be a lot of guys that will go for more, who will have or end up having less goals and assists and less of an impact in your team. And signing a starter for that money at 15 mil in the Premier League, who's under the age of 21, is an actual steal.
Yeah.
I had a couple of names on my list. I wanted to actually shout out, and I didn't think I would be doing this at this stage in the season, but I wanted to shout out Vicario. I want to give an honourable mention. I thought, I was saying earlier in the pod that like it would take at least 2 years to get rid of the stench that Tennessee Hugo left behind. And he hasn't completely got rid of the stench. I've got one question mark. I used to have like 4 question marks over him.
Yeah.
I've got one question mark left.
He's coming in. If we were doing a team of the season, and the reason we're not doing a team of the season is because I feel like it would just be dominated by big clubs.
Yeah, of course.
And players from big clubs. But he would be the goalkeeper.
Like he's done well, man.
Yeah.
He's done well. Like he's been decent with his feet. He's been decent shot stopping.
Yeah.
He's not like, by this stage of the season, we're talking about 4 at least calamities from Hugo.
An honor.
Yeah. Well, come on next to
two goalkeepers.
Yeah, but we're talking about like calamities. Like there's just the basics of like, not Hugo used to push it out to the guy 5 yards in front of goal. Like the only one striker the opposition had in the box.
Yeah.
Hugo pushes out to him and the guy puts it home.
North London Derby puts it in his own net.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throws it in.
So I wanted to shout out Vicario just for not being a complete alcoholic at this stage in his career. But I wanted to give it to Kudus. I think Kudus is real smart business, man. I think
good one.
I think the price tag under 40 mil or just around about 40 mil, you got a young player, 21, 22 years old, or however old he is, and he is gonna, like, he's playing in the wing. He could probably play in the 8 position. He could probably play in the 10 position.
Yeah, probably plays a false 9.
Yeah, like he just seems like he's gonna be, if he didn't go to West Ham, there's a stepping stone kind of club, he's the kind of guy that will go for 60, 70 mil.
Yeah.
So
and he's got the strength. To be a Premier League winner.
He's got the strength, and he's got the
quality. He can take a guy on his back.
He's got the quality. He's got the strength. He's got the ability with his feet,
both feet.
And I always give a little bit more respect and love to guys that, like, in any league, in any sport, hit the ground running. I think there's such a thing about, like, if you want to be considered, and I'm not saying Kudus would be the greatest of all time and stuff, but like if you want to be considered the GOATs of any game or any sport, in my opinion, I give a certain tick box or characteristic to guys that, like, from out the gate they was killer. It was clear to see from day one that this guy was nothing to mess with. I think Kudus brought that. His first couple of games were so, but he started scoring goals and he never looked back. And I think he's been one of West Ham's best signings. One reason to have them 5th or 6th in the table, and 2, because you'll probably go for 60 or 70 mil. And they'll make profit.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good one. I think that could even take it over Elanga, to be fair. I think Kudus has been very smart business from West Ham. When you think, like, some of the other teams, I think Arsenal was sniffing around, Man United, Liverpool, Brighton.
Brighton, I think Brighton had actually, like, agreed a fee with the club, but not with the player.
But obviously West Ham just kind of followed through with it. And you see the player that they've got now. So I think that's a good one. But then we move on to flop signing of the season. Who has been the worst signing?
It's just which of the 3 United players should be.
And for me, I have one guy that I actually put in my top 10 best summer transfers.
How far they've fallen, huh?
Because I could not even imagine him to be this bad. But Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I'm
one goal.
It's poor. It's poor. I'm a Rasmus hater. I'm on record.
Who else am I supposed to give it to?
No, I'm a Rasmus.
Your striker coming for 70 million and he's got 1 league goal.
Yeah, there's no. I've been on here and I said, look, I was having this debate recently with a couple of friends of mine about, like, Rasmus, Nunes, who's a better striker, who would have more goals if Nunes was at Liverpool. Sorry, if Nunes was in United, if Rasmus was at Liverpool. who would, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, all my friends' points was, oh, but United, they don't create any chances, they don't create any goals, there's no passing between the front three. And I was like, who's created less chances than United? It's like Luton and Burnley, or it's Burnley and Sheffield United or something. Love Foster's on 4 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah.
McBurney, 3 Premier League goals.
Adebayo,
Yeah.
6 goals.
You can't. There's guys feeding off scraps.
Yeah.
With less.
Cameron Archer.
Mateta.
Yeah.
You can't tell me Mateta's out here getting 4 or 5 chances a game to put the ball in the back of the net. So I completely hear you on that.
Yeah, you don't play 15. You don't start 15 Premier League games for Man United.
Yeah.
And say, oh, he's only scored 1 goal because he hasn't had chances.
It's all service. Yeah. Come on. And also,
create your own goals.
That's what I'm saying. There's guys out there. You saw what Chris Wood was doing the other day.
Yeah.
That's Chris Wood we're talking about. Sometimes show me you have something in your locker.
Step up and scored a hat trick.
He's turning guys inside out.
Yeah. And there was genuinely, I was thinking of all the signings. There was genuinely no one else I could give it to, because at the end of the day, man, you're a striker. You come to Man United, and I was actually rewatching our top 10 summer signings the other day, and I said that most of the reason I put Højlund, 90% of the reason was because of Martial,
who has the same amount of Premier League goals. Contract extension talks.
But the fit Martial's never available is the problem, right? But if Martial is ever available, stick him in there, man.
Yeah, he scores more.
Man, put Højlund on the bench.
When he's back from the sickness.
Martial's not going to run. He's not going to sprint, but he's more likely to score.
I completely agree with the notion that Højlund will probably explode when Ten Hag is not there.
Yeah, he'll go on a run.
Yeah, he'll probably start bagging goals.
Yeah.
My list.
Yeah, who did you have?
I had a United player, to be fair.
Amrabat.
I had actually honorable mentions. McAllister. Not flop of the season criteria, because the United guys will always be out ahead of him. But I just thought there was going to be more from McAllister this season. World Cup winner. Last year he played great for Brighton. He was like all the rave. And now it's like he's just another guy in the midfield.
Yeah.
And if he's fit, he starts for Liverpool. I get it, but he hasn't really locked down that position as like, where is he? This is where he plays. This is what he does for the team. But at the end,
I think that might be a bit harsh.
I definitely
for flop side.
I agree that it's harsh. That's why he gets an honorable mention. I'm just saying,
the league, right?
my eyes on you. My eyes on you, McAllister. I was expecting big things.
Yeah,
Liverpool fans were talking about how much of a bargain he was. Come on, 30 mil.
Yeah. But it's just it's similar to, and obviously they haven't won anything yet this season, but similar to the Jack Grealish thing. Like, they're top of the league, so I can't. Really
you can't say too much about it. Yeah, no, I hear you. My thing actually went to Onana.
Okay,
Andre. Maybe I'm being harsh because it's like a Prem show, but I incorporated the champs into it. I also incorporated the whole. United was speaking about David De Gea and Andre Onana like it was a revolution.
Yeah.
Like, storming of the fucking palace, 1917, so for Andre Onana to be so instrumental in some of these massive losses that United have gone through. I mean, their goal record in the Champions League is diabolical.
Yeah.
That goal difference.
Man United fans say themselves, Andre Onana's
the reason
they went out.
Diabolical. And I think, I'm on record as a Højlund hater, but I do agree that I knew that Højlund was never really going to solve United's answers up front as a 20-year-old costing that much money. But Andre,
5 goals wouldn't solve United.
Yeah, it's true. He should have that at least. But
I did consider Onana.
No, Andre Onana, I think there was an expectation of you're a fully formed player.
Yeah.
Højlund,
and the way De Gea was hounded out.
Højlund has the excuse of he has a lot to learn. He's 20,
First year in the league.
Game. He's got to improve. All of this. Doesn't even have like a senior pro to help him. Like, Andre, you were meant to come in as a senior pro. You was coming in talking all that to Maguire about, shape up.
The interviews, man.
Andre came in and he was like, things are going to be different around here. That's how he came in. He came in like, things are going to be different around here.
You don't go from being the best goalkeeper in the world in Champions League final to, all right, man. All right,
so,
just do it on the pitch.
Just do it on the pitch, man. So to be throwing the goal into the back of your own net.
Yeah.
To be throwing the ball into the back of your own net. Just the fact that there was even plausible shouts from United fans saying, let's bring De Gea back. Can we get him on the short-term loan? You have no understudy underneath you. It's all on you. The only reason Andre Onana is even has only agreed to stay for an additional game is because he thinks he's got something to prove.
And Man United fans will love him for it.
You know, he like
apparently he's missing Cameroon's first game.
That's what I'm saying. If Onana thought he was doing a good enough job, he'd be in Cameroon. he'd be telling guys, yo, I've done my job.
Yeah,
it's time to go help my country.
Yeah. 100%.
He's trying to worm his way into the fans' good books, and I hear it as a United fan. That's what you want to see: a player doing everything he can to prove to you that he's the number one guy.
But Onana, you better not throw one in your own net on Sunday.
The pressure's gonna get to him.
You better, because the fact that you've made the decision to stay and you're gonna start that game, if you throw one in your own net.
And another reason I had Onana in there was because he's been good at his feet. To be fair, he's shown that he has that ability, but that was a large reason as to why they bought him. And I don't think it's actually genuinely helped United progress as a football team. Like I think that's a huge reason as to why it's a flop, because you bought a guy who's good with his feet, but his feet are not helping you win football matches or even keep possession. Let alone win football matches. His feet are not helping you keep possession or build from the back or do any of the stuff that you want it to do. And you spend a lot of money with him, and you have to double down. Like, there's no way United can sign another. I would take Ramsdale for faith. I would sell, but there is no way. As long as Ten Hag is there, that United can
buy another keeper.
Can double down on another keeper, and you have to make this work.
Yeah, they're with Onana for at least 5 years.
You have to make this work.
At least.
So,
but yeah, I think both of those are fair. Moving on to goal of the season. We could do this one fairly quickly. I'm guessing you went Michael Elise.
Of course, it was easy. I was going to say, my goal of the season already.
We've had this debate on the pod. I went Alejandro Garnacho, the overhead kick against Everton. I think it's unbelievable. We don't need to have the debate again. Michael Elise's one is a
won't
great
be
goal.
repeated.
Let us know in the comments which one you would pick. But the honourable mention that I wanted to give, because I still watch this goal whenever it comes up on the timeline, I will watch it. I will love it. I will drink it in. Gabriel Jesus
versus United.
Against Manchester United, with Diego Dallo being sent back to Manchester. I love that goal.
That's a great goal. That's a great goal. Yeah.
So I had to give that a mention. I had to give that a mention.
That is definitely
the way he sends him is and then the finish and then the celebration. It's just brilliant. It's brilliant, man. But I am giving it to Garnacho. That overhead kick was insane.
I'll give it to Elise, man.
Yeah, Elise's goal, the curled finish. Yeah, great goal.
Beat the man 1-on-1.
Moving on to the best moment of the season.
Yeah.
Who did you? Okay, go on.
And
did you have one Arsenal one and one not?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair. Go on.
Complete opposites to each other. My Arsenal moment, I will think about that Jesus one.
Yeah.
I was really thinking about it hard. But I'm going to go for Rice in the same game.
Yeah, nice.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Especially because it came after the Garnacho goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had accepted that we'd lost it. And I'd accepted that he was onside. And that was going to stand. And then to go from 0 to 100 in moments. And for it to be Declan Rice. And for the 100 mil, just like, and for it to be United and his first goal.
In front of the Emirates.
Like, it goes on and on and on and on. There's a million ands. So that is my...
He came here to be the difference maker.
It's too good. And the international break immediately afterwards, I was like, gassed. That was like 2 weeks of just looking at United fans dead in the face. And just being like,
Declan Rice.
And then my other best moment, which is a weird one, is the VAR decision versus Liverpool and Tottenham when they disallowed...
Best moment.
Not, I don't hate Liverpool for any reason. I dislike Tottenham. But it was, for me, such a what the hell moment. And maybe best is not the right word, but it was a shock and awe entertainment moment.
Yeah.
Of
for sure.
The Barclays is just gonna sweep this under the rug. Yeah. Type of the whole hullabaloo.
Just bury it.
The whole hullabaloo about are they gonna release the recording or not? Ethical reasons, should they? Just looking at the present, the commentators and the presenters and the journalists and analysts just being like, I don't really know what to say. I saw it real time. Well, I saw it real time and on the replay. He's onside.
Yeah.
And for the lines not to be drawn and all of that.
Yeah.
And the Premier League to just be like.
And then the audio, they're like, oh shit.
And Sky Sports to come on and be like, everybody makes mistakes. Come on. Everybody makes mistakes. I thought it was just. Yeah, it's a massive
big moment.
It's a huge moment. Sure. Maybe not the best, but one of the more entertaining because everybody had an opinion on it. Everybody had something to say on it. It was peak Barclays. I couldn't believe what they were trying to do to it. I've never, ever, ever heard VAR internal decisions being made before.
Yeah.
It's just like a new precedent is set. And anytime there's going to be a big decision, I'll be clamoring to hear what the refs are saying.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with you. That wasn't for me. I again had an Arsenal one, and my Arsenal one, because I was there, I was in the stadium. I haven't felt, and this moment was up there with the Reece Nelson one last year for me. When this went in, was Martinelli's goal against Man City.
ooh, I can't. That's crazy. That didn't even come to my mind.
No,
That's actually incredible.
For all the moments that I've had at the Emirates, that is one of the best that I
Stands
think
out,
I've
yeah.
had, because it was just that whole thing. What was it, 10, 11 fixtures against Man City that we hadn't won.
No one expecting us to do it as well.
Yeah, Martinelli racing back from injury to come back for that game, telling Arteta.
All of our favorite guys.
Exactly. They all link up. Kai with the assist. Martinelli telling Arteta, I'm going to be back for that game. I'm going to be back for that game. Coming off the bench at half time and just instantly gets the ball, runs at Walker, corner.
I still can't tell you what, two things. I still can't tell you what Tomiyasu's doing.
Yeah.
Bursting into that space from subbed on left back.
Yep.
And I still can't tell you what Thomas Partey is doing.
Yeah.
Picking him out on the first time.
We missed that. So much.
Looking up. Oh,
yeah.
Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'll place this perfectly. You don't even need to break stride. Just run at the same speed and I'll put it right there.
Yeah, I still got
Kai lays it back and Martinelli slaps it in off Ake's face. Loved it.
Football.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And my non-Arsenal one is Christian Romero's tackle on Enzo Fernandez in their game against Chelsea.
This guy out.
His Argentinian teammate, Tottenham are 1-0 up. They're about to cruise to probably a 3-0 victory at home to Chelsea. Tottenham fans are going to stab Pochettino in the back. They've got the knife ready, and Christian Romero takes it upon himself to blow up Tottenham's season.
I agree with that. That's an incredibly funny moment. But this is also why I give credit to the Liverpool one, because the games after that aftermath were so like, all right, VAR is going to be on top of everything.
Yeah.
Like that Christian Romero incident, they looked at like 3 or 4 separate incidents, and I've never seen them go into that sort of forensic analysis on everything.
Yeah,
that happens.
Had we done like a game of the season, that would have been up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that moment, Romero gets sent off, Cole Palmer buries the pen, and then Chelsea go on from there. That I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's good.
That was, and then when we came on the pod afterwards,
good
spirits,
that's good money.
So yeah, those are the two that I had. But moving on, to a one that Michael suggested, which was most improved player, and I think we both have the same player for this guy. You said you wanted to talk about him. I think that's right. I think we do need to talk about him. And yeah, I'll let you say who he is.
Yeah, I was just gonna give some love to Pedro Porro, because I was looking at the rest of the the rest of the questions on the list, and it was like I couldn't really fit him in, but I do really think he's been one of the best players of the season this year.
Yeah,
and I also think, like, not only has he been one of the best players, he's not even really playing a traditional right back position.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's doing he is, but it's not like he's only doing the overlap thing and balls in the box, or like he's got a bit of everything.
Yep.
He's playing sometimes in between both centre backs and doing long diags, and he's got the whole. He's got the whole play. He's got the long ball distribution,
the deep line playmaking.
Yeah,
is
and the set pieces, man.
Yeah,
so, sometimes he'll whip in a ridiculous set piece, or they'll come short. They'll go to Porro, and from the second ball, he'll just curl it around the guy, put it on somebody's head in the box. I think from what and I'm blanking on his name now. Who's that guy who used to manage Aston Villa?
Tim Sherwood.
From what Tim Sherwood was saying about him
after they played
Leicester, and just his general, I thought he was going to be all right as a right back, and he's actually proven that he has great ability on the ball.
Yep.
He's got the engine. He's playing 90 minutes. Still a little bit suspect defensively, but he brings so much to that team.
Yeah.
That I do think he's probably one of the most improved players. I didn't expect this from last season, Porro. This season, Porro.
I think there's a stat that no player's been dribbled past more than Pedro Porro.
Defensively, he's got a lot to do.
But I agree with you. He obviously came in January last year for that 6-month period or whatever. I could see that he definitely has something going forward.
Yeah.
He had some assists. He scored some goals. I was like, yeah, okay, this guy. But defensively he was suspect. I've said this so many times. I still think he's defensively
Yeah, he
suspect.
is.
But what I said about Udogie, in that if you're not at the technically elite level, like a guy like Trent, you can't be a fullback in this league because because Trent will get cooked going that way. But I've still given him player of the season because he is that guy.
Match winner.
Exactly, creating those chances and whatever. And I'm not putting Pedro Porro on the same
pedestal.
But in terms of how they've played this season, I think they're both probably there.
Both teams are. I honestly thought, with Kane going, I honestly thought Tottenham were languishing in 8th, 9th, 10th place.
And I think like you say, some of the stuff Pedro Porro is doing, the passing range,
the goal the other day,
backspin on it, the swaz, some of the passes, the goal he scored the other day,
they weren't flying last season.
I think I definitely think he deserved the mention. So we'll give most improved to Pedro Porro. I did consider Basuma, but because at the start of the season, I was like, from where this guy was last year,
he's got 2 reds. Though.
But I mean, he fell off a cliff after getting sent off, so I couldn't put him in. Moving over performer of the season. So I've asked Michael to pick one player and one team. So for me, my overperformer for the player was Dominic Solanke.
Is it?
I mean, sorry, 11 was it 11 league goals, 12 league goals, couple of assists. Where Bournemouth are, I don't think Solanke's ever got double figures in the league. And for him to have hit that by the end of January or middle of January,
Bournemouth are not even in the relegation race.
Yeah, they're not. And his goals, I mean, he's getting linked with Newcastle.
Yeah, wow.
Getting linked with Arsenal. Those for a guy who was at Chelsea, left Chelsea to go to Liverpool, didn't really find it. Liverpool, went to Bournemouth. I think he's one player that I did not. If you told me Dominic Solanke would score 15 league goals in the whole season, because he could genuinely get 20 if he carries on. I know he's on pens, but even if you told me at the start he would get 15, I'd be like, I don't know about that.
I definitely don't know about that.
So for the player, I gave it to Solanke. And for the team, I gave it to Tottenham. Like you just mentioned, without Harry Kane, you thought they would be languishing in 8th.
Yeah.
Postecoglou, first season in the league, might not really know too much about it. I definitely thought the biggest thing, no Harry Kane, you lose your best player. You're
guaranteed 20 goals.
Truly, he scored 30 goals last season. Yeah. I think Tottenham as a team scored 50 maybe. For you to lose him, essentially the captain in there as well. And to be where they are, credit to And as well for the system he's brought in, the way the players are playing, that they all seem to be playing for him as well. To be honest, most improved could have even gone to Son.
Yeah, I was thinking, not really most improved, but I also wanted to just mention or somehow give some love to the fact that Postecoglou's got Richarlison scoring goals again.
Yeah, that's another thing. So overall, I gave my overperformance to Tottenham because I didn't think they'd be where they are.
Yeah, no, I can hear that. I can see that. They're 1 point behind us. It's so weird because obviously Tottenham were top of the table. At some point, they were 8 points ahead of us or whatever it was. And then at some point, they were 10 points behind us. And now it's 1 point between us. And if that doesn't show what the Barclays is about.
But who did you go for? Who player and team?
Player, I went for an interesting choice. I wanted to give some love to Hee-Chan Wan.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Because, he's doubled, he's got this season already his 2 previous goal tallies combined for the last 2 seasons or something crazy. And even Gary O'Neill coming out and saying, when I came here at Wolves, I didn't think Hee-Chan Wan was going to be the goal. I didn't look at him and think this is the guy I'm getting goals from.
Yeah.
So for Hee-Chan to lock it down, start balling, start bagging week in, week out, he looks cold in front of goal.
Yeah. I agree with that.
He looks super cold in front of goal. But I didn't think I could overlook Ollie Watkins. So I give it to Ollie Watkins. Because kind of like you, if you told me at this stage last season that Ollie Watkins would have 9 goals and 8 assists in the Barclays Premier League by this stage of the season, I'll be like,
no way.
I'll be like, there's the Ollie Watkins, the same guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I think there's more to come from him. I think he could get better. I think there's more to add to his game and all this kind of stuff. And for him to kind of be on track for double digits in both goals and assists this season, for Villa to be second in the table, 2 points ahead, 2 points behind Tottenham, 2 points behind Liverpool. I thought it was very tough to overlook Ollie Watkins, and I still think he's been frustrating this year.
Yeah.
That's the crazy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
He should have
yeah.
15 goals, or like he should have like he missed a couple of sitters, and
Yeah, he doesn't take pens.
yeah, he doesn't take pens.
Yeah.
He's missing stuff under the like.
I think the only reason I didn't give it to Ollie Watkins was because from when Emery came in around December last year, Watkins picked up.
Yeah, he does.
Because
He
he
has.
stunk. Gerard was playing him off the left, Danny Ings through the middle, and just causing so many problems for himself.
And isn't that the most Gerard thing or Frank Lampard thing to do?
just change it completely. But because Emery came in December and Watkins picked up, I did kind of think. I didn't think he'd have 9 and 8.
That's what I'm saying.
I did think he'd play well.
That is what I'm saying. I agree with you. Like, I thought he was going to be a better player than he was last year. But for Watkins to have 9 goals and 8 assists in the Barclays Premier League this year, at this stage of the season, 16, 17 games played or 20 games played.
Yeah. No, it's great numbers. It's great numbers.
he's got 18 goals and assists.
To me, it's less surprising than Solanke, though.
Do you know what is more surprising to me is the assists.
Yeah,
8 assists.
Yeah.
8 assists in the Barclays Premier League. It's like, yeah, I agree with you. I think Solanke is regarded like less, quote quotations, less of a player than Ollie Watkins. He plays for a worse team as well. So for him to have 12 is crazy. But as you say, he takes pens. But he's bagged a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Ollie Watkins is like, Ollie Watkins used to score 1 goal and then would not score for 4 weeks.
Yeah. No, the consistency he's reached.
You're saying if he gets anywhere near 20 goals,
10
assists.
Yeah. I mean, double figures in both for any players. Yeah,
what kind of season
is very good. But yeah, who'd you go for your?
So I went for
team?
Villa.
Yeah,
2 points off top.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
We both admit that we think they're gonna fall away.
Yeah.
But for them to even be 2 points off top,
at this point,
at this stage of the season, is kind of incredible. And as I said, we both think they're gonna fall away, but it might not be next week. It might not be the week after.
Yeah.
Like it might not be the week after that. They could still sort of hang around the title race.
Yeah.
And even if they do, and then eventually fall away, they might fall to 5th.
Yeah.
Or 4th. And
they could genuinely play champions. I don't think they will, but they could genuinely play.
And it's like coming into the season, we thought Villa would be a better team than they were last year, but we didn't think that they'd ever really hang around the big boys.
No, I agree. I think Villa probably deserve it more than Tottenham.
And the injuries that they've had, Badir and Mings, and
I think the only real reason I gave it to Tottenham was because
I get it though.
I was waiting years for Harry Kane to leave, and then he left, and
somehow they're
arguably a better team.
Yeah, somehow they're not that bad.
Yeah. But no, I think Villa do deserve that one. For where they are, and shout out Unai Emery. And then on the flip side, underperformer of the season, one player, one team. For the player, I had to pick 2, Rashford and Martinelli.
I got Martinelli as well.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. I got Martinelli as well.
And I had to pick Rashford as well. Rashford has just been abysmal this year. People getting on to him for his performance against Wigan on Monday as well. United fans are not happy with this guy.
Yeah. To be fair, he got 30 goals last year. Now it looks like he might not even scrape 15.
Yeah, and that's why when I saw underperformer, I had to give it to Rashford.
Yeah.
You scored 30 goals last year, and this year you don't even look like you can beat your man.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know what I think about Rashford as well now is, obviously you can say this about a lot of football players, but it comes so much down to, I think, his personal feelings around the manager in the club.
Yeah.
If Rashford feels like I've got a good manager and the fans and the club are behind me, he balls out.
Yeah. But that's not right, though.
But that's not right.
That's not right.
You should
because
ball
there's been
regardless.
too many managers now, Marcus.
Yeah. You should ball
You need
regardless.
to find one manager and decide this is the guy I'm going to always play for.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But I think it's so clear for Rashford, for the drop-off to be this drastic, that it has to be more mental than physical. I don't think Rashford is physically 10x worse than he was last season. But mentally, I just don't think he cares.
Yeah, and he's not working as hard.
I think last season he thought Ten Hag might take us places.
Yeah,
and now he's like, oh yeah, we're not going anywhere. And I agree with you, Martinelli, because at the beginning of the season, we both said that we think he can push or break 20 goals a season.
Yeah.
And for him to only be on 2 goals a season at this stage, as I agree with you, I still back him 100%.
I wanted to caveat this as, and I'm putting Martinelli as the underperformer, but I think the second half of the season, I think he's going to have a big season.
I still, the thing about Martinelli as well is I think he's lacking a little bit of confidence in front of goal. in terms of like sometimes last year in these same positions, he wouldn't even think about trying to get a shot off.
Yeah.
Like he would just beat a man, get the shot off.
Yeah.
You know, and now he's like, where's what's Zinchenko saying? What's Kivior saying?
Yeah. Havertz is there.
Yeah. I do still agree with you in the fact that I still hold high hopes for him in the second half of the season. And he's not playing badly, but he's underperformed goals and assists.
I'm still confident that he will come good.
3 more goals, 2 more assists from Martinelli, and we're like 1 point off top.
Hat-trick against Palace.
To come. Yeah.
But yeah, whereas Rashford, I really don't know what's going to go on there. I do think Martinelli will come back and find some form.
I think Rashford probably will need a Ten Hag change to come back.
Yeah. And then Rashford might skyrocket.
Yeah.
The new guy, Michael Carrick, comes in, puts his arm around Marcus.
Let it be Michael Carrick. I think Michael Carrick's done a nice job, but I know the United job it'd be too much.
It'll kill anyone.
Man.
Kill anyone. But for the team underperformer, I hope we've gone for the same team.
No, we haven't.
I had to go Man United.
I thought about Man United.
For fans who thought they were going to be in a title race.
Yeah.
Fans who thought Erik Ten Hag was the answer.
Yeah.
Guys who thought that this season Man United would kick on from third in the trophy last season to a title race and Champions League run.
Best season in Arsenal last year.
Bottom of their group. They're not even in the Europa League.
Their goal difference is crazy in both competitions.
They've scored the same amount of goals as Luton, or maybe even Sheffield. Luton might have scored more than them. Yeah, and being nowhere near the title race. I think if Chelsea win on Saturday, they go above them.
Yeah.
I had to give it to them.
I would never disagree with Man United. I think they definitely have from the fans' perspective. I don't think there's any United fan that can come to me and try and say that they haven't underperformed. They were all saying, all right, it's just the title then for this year. It's just going to push it.
That's just the next step.
Yeah. But I actually went for Chelsea as underperformers because it's a weird one. I didn't think Chelsea were going to have a good season this season, but I also was hearing a lot of fans from even not just Chelsea fans saying like Chelsea going to be back, Chelsea going to be top 4, Chelsea, and they could still get top 4. To be fair,
if they win on Saturday,
they could still get
go
top
7th.
4. But I think that the summer window that Chelsea had and the cleaning out of house, and like Chelsea blamed a lot of their players last year for why they were poor, and we can never get anywhere with Havertz, we can never get anywhere with Mount, we can never get anywhere with all of these guys. We got a whole new starting 11. And some of Chelsea's losses this season or drop points this season have been arguably worse than United's. Like some of them are like United, there's a mental barrier. There's a complete mental, like we either don't understand what Ten Hag wants from us or we don't believe in what he wants from us. Whereas with Chelsea, I don't know why you've lost some of those games. Like it's quite, you have the quality on the pitch. You're a better team than them. You've got a manager that wants it more. He's trying to get his style in play. And you've just lost 3-1, or you've just lost 2-0 to Brentford, or you've just, or you've just like, like I honestly didn't think Chelsea. I didn't think there would be a top 3
but
team.
they actually play.
They don't play bad football.
I mean, compared to Man United,
they play way better football than Man United, no doubt. But that's why I think they've underperformed. There is something in that squad mentally that is like
they're in a cup semi-final, could go to Wembley.
Yeah, we can just throw this away.
Yeah, there is. I mean, the squad is so young. I think I didn't even really consider Chelsea because they finished 12th last year.
But I didn't think they would ever be.
So for me to then gone and said they're underperforming,
I thought, and to be fair, maybe they are where they are. Like
any improvement from 12.
But that's what I'm saying. I thought that was going to be a one-off season from Chelsea. Chelsea will never finish this low again. Will never be this poor again.
Roman, man.
Yeah, I was like, Chelsea will never finish this low again, and they'll never be this poor again. And then it's from 2023, from that end of last season. They might have not still won a game at home. They might have won 1 or 2 games at home. Nottingham Forest went there and got a win.
It's been bad.
It's like there's like so many guys that have come there and got a win, left with something, and it's like it's just like, oh yeah, Chelsea are still bad, but like
Middlesbrough are going to go to Stamford Bridge in that second leg and think, yo, anyone can get points here.
But it's like, why are we still this bad? Like, you spent the money. You've got Gustav, we've talked about as a good player. Cole Palmer, we've talked about as a good player. You've got a million centre-backs to choose from. Jackson, for whatever he is, he's got goals and he's got assists in him. Spent money. I just think that Chelsea, I've said it many times on the podcast, I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
You have yes, you need a striker, yes, you need a goal scorer, but it doesn't mean that you should be 10th or or 9th or
No,
whatever.
I think it's fair. It's fair to give it to them. The only reason I didn't give it to them was because I still think they might have a good second half of the season.
They're definitely,
Yeah.
there's an upward trajectory in Chelsea, and they probably might finish above United.
And one thing I did want to say, because like I mentioned earlier, I was listening back to the top 10 summer transfers. When I read out that Bat had Cole Palmer 4th on his list,
Yeah, we killed him.
the way we laughed, it was just disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was just disrespectful. There's no other way to describe it. It was just disrespectful. So for us to both come back now and say young player of the season was Cole Palmer.
All right, shout out to Michael Bat.
Yeah.
Mr. Third Eye wide open.
yeah.
You know,
he saw something.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is, he absolutely hates Cole Palmer now. You see him in the chat yesterday when Cole Palmer was missing chances. He's like, hey, you silly prick.
Straight down the
Get
tunnel.
off the pitch. Yeah.
No more top goal for Cole Palmer, huh?
But yeah, it was. The way we laughed was just disrespectful. Because then I know Nick wanted an apology, but we didn't actually laugh that hard at Pau Torres. We can't be giving it. But yeah, the way we laughed at Cole Palmer was just disrespectful. But moving on, manager of the season, one of the most important ones.
Yeah, we have the same manager.
Yes,
Gary O'Neill.
Wolves fans.
Wolverhampton, you might see us. Might have to do.
Might have our first live show in Wolves. Outside Molyneux. Gary O'Neill. I
got time and love for Gary O'Neill,
we've given Gary O'Neill time.
Yeah,
we've given him his praise on this podcast before, but yeah, I mean, just echoing what we said last week about Lopetegui saying this squad can't compete.
Yeah, that's it.
Wolves having FFP problems, not signing anyone. They've sold Neves, sold Moutinho, got rid of all of these guys, and Gary O'Neill's come in. Yeah, Gary O'Neill's come in with a young team. That a lot of people tipped to go down at the start of the season,
or be in and around it.
Yeah, and for him to not only have them where they are, but actually playing the way they play, they play good ball.
It's I agree with you, and it's even beyond that. It's like they should be ahead of where they are currently. I haven't seen a team fucked over more than Wolves by VAR this season.
Yeah,
they won.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, there've been 100%. So many decisions that have gone against Wolves. Penalties. I remember the penalty versus Newcastle.
The Fabian Charles.
Yeah, they just came out and said, "Oh yeah, by the way,
they had one against Sheffield. It was horrendous."
So it's like and then on top of that, Gary O'Neill has them playing football. On top of that, Hichem Man's balling. You got Matthias Cunha who's balling. You got Pedro Neto who's just come back.
Yeah,
you know, I thought it crazy. I was looking at Matthias Nunes. We're both older than him.
Yeah.
I thought Matthias Nunes was like 27.
No.
28.
Yeah.
Guy's 24 years old.
Yeah.
So not Matthias Nunes, Matthias Cunha.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a lot of time and love for Gary O'Neill for Lopetegui giving up on them. Everybody thinking that Wolves is.
And Matheus Nunes actually played the first
match week 1. Yeah. That was when
Gary O'Neill had to deal with him, and
we were giving them a lot of credit and a lot of love because they was like trying to dribble out of tight spaces. And that was all Nunes in midfield, and Liverpool wanted him and all this kind of stuff. So for Gary O'Neill to have these guys in a situation where they're not really threatened by the bottom 3, they've got points on the board. Molyneux's beat Man City at Molyneux, beat Tottenham at Molyneux,
Chelsea.
Yeah, beat Chelsea at Molyneux. Like, I think he has really done wonders with that squad. And it's not even that Gary O'Neill has brought in 7 of his favorite players ever and got them balling. He's looked at the guys that he's had and he said, I need to get something out of you guys.
Yeah.
And he has. So I really definitely, and how he left Bournemouth and, all of that. I think it comes into
he went back to Bournemouth from 1.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think it does show his sort of pedigree in this league. And I just think he's a manager who's one to watch moving forward. Yeah. For sure.
And that when he came on MNF, and he showed the clips on the training ground, like, this is how we'll beat Bournemouth in the press. This is how we line up. There's like this diagonal, but the whole thing was just brilliant to watch. It was great insight.
Yeah.
So we've both gone with Gary O'Neill, which I think is, I think honorable mention to Ange Postecoglou as well here.
And I think honorable mention to Areola. Because I had him as first to go.
Yeah. I think Uriola's there as
and
well.
he's got them in a situation where we're like, yo, they're 10th or
Yeah,
whatever. And they,
yeah.
you know,
But
so
I think for Ange to have,
I agree with you.
where
Ange is
Tottenham
more,
are, for the way that they're playing,
yeah.
we've
And
said-
Emery,
we've said-
to be fair, you can't say,
you
can't, you know, Prem's
Um,
got the best managers. I think that is,
yeah.
top to bottom.
But yeah, I think rightfully so. We've both gone with Gary O'Neill. So that is it for the mid-season awards. We'll move on to the predictions, which again, let us know in the comments if you disagree, if you think someone else is going to win the title, if you think our top seven's whack and someone else will get in and we've missed out a big name or whatever. But we will start with the 2023-2024 title winner,
Title winners.
Premier League winner.
Yes, I think it's going to be Man City.
Yeah,
I still have hope for Arsenal. I don't want Arsenal fans to come on and be like, "Oh, he's changes. He's not saying nothing because Arsenal losing games."
Well, we would love nothing more.
Yeah,
We would love
I still
nothing
think
more.
Arsenal can win the league as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
They can.
But then if I look at things and I think, man, Rodri's still around. KDB's coming back. Haaland's coming back.
Doku played on.
Doku's coming back. Alvarez, he's not even been playing well and he's getting goals and assists.
The way Foden's playing.
Oh yeah, it's long and these crunch time grudge matches when it means everything. I just think even the guys that we never speak about, but the guys that we don't really, Akanji's going to go to a different level. Ake's going to go to a different level.
And they're not going to feel any pressure.
Yeah.
They're not going to feel any pressure.
Like
they're just going to play every game as it comes.
Whatever joy that He Chan-wan and all these guys that we big up get against Ake and Akanji now is not going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be locked down.
It's not going to happen. Come February onwards, come March time onwards, and those clean sheets will start to creep up and the City will end up with the best defense and there'll be a crazy stat of the last time they faced a Sean Tucker was 4 games ago. Yeah. You know, all of this stuff that they do is coming right back. Yeah. And I think it's, as long as Pep is ever in your football league, I think it's really tough to back against him.
I think given what City have done for the last 7 years.
And then Bayern Munich before that and then Barca before that.
Yeah. You know? I mean, the way that they like come good from February to the end of the season, you can't bet against them.
Yeah.
I think one year when they chased Liverpool, they won 15 games in a row or something.
No, it was 19. I remember speaking to my friend from Liverpool the other day. You know how crazy it is to win 19 games in a row?
Yeah.
Not drop a point. Not just it's crazy to go 19 games unbeaten. It's crazy to win
all of them.
19 on the bounce.
And they had to because Liverpool were winning all of their games.
That will never that will never. Maybe City could do it again, but like I don't think any other Premier League club will ever win 19 games in a row in the Barclays Premier League. Like that, whatever,
and win the league by 1 point.
Yeah. Whatever you can say, it's more competitive now or whatever it is. Even if it was at its least competitive, it's still incredibly impressive to beat 19 teams.
Yeah. In the Premier League as well.
Games.
And I mean, when you're going for the title, to be
the pressure goes up and up and up and.
But yeah, so both agree on that. And then the top 7 we've got in order here.
Yeah, you go first.
I've got obviously Man City, as just mentioned, to win the league. Arsenal 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, Chelsea 4th, Tottenham 5th, Newcastle 6th, and Brighton 7th.
You don't even have Villa in your top 7. You think Villa finished 8th or 9th?
Yeah, I think Villa could drop out.
No. I don't think Villa lose that many points.
Or you know what? Actually, Villa might finish 7th, and Newcastle might finish 6th.
I think it will be City. I think Arsenal will finish 2nd. I think Liverpool will finish 3rd. I think Tottenham will finish 4th. I think Villa will finish 5th, and then after 5th, it gets really interesting because between United, Brighton, and West Ham, I think it depends on
Newcastle.
Oh. No.
Not actually, in the top 7.
I think Newcastle will finish ahead of either Brighton or West Ham have injuries. I was going to say, okay, so between United, Brighton, West Ham, and Newcastle, I think it all comes down to injuries and who's going to stay fit. So let me just repeat my top 5. I've got City, I've got Arsenal, I've got Liverpool, I've got Tottenham to scrape into top 4. And then
Villa.
I think Villa will finish 5th. And then I think Newcastle United. And that could be a toss of a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I to be fair, I actually don't think West Ham and Brighton will have the pedigree. But I also do think Chelsea will be creeping.
Yeah.
Creeping.
Well, I've put them in my top 4.
Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy, to be fair, because
Yeah.
where it stands right now, Chelsea are like a good 12 points off top 4.
Yeah, win on Saturday, 9 points.
And to be fair, I would have said when Arsenal were 10 points ahead of Tottenham a couple of weeks ago, yeah, we're never going to be giving up that 10-point lead, and now it's only 1
But
point.
especially in a top 4 race.
It's going to come out. That top 4 race is coming down to the last day.
The way those teams are going to start to drop points in the last 10 to 15 games, we've seen top 4 races before. Neither of us have got United in top 7.
Yeah, I just think the palaver will go on.
Ineos aren't going to sort things out.
I think
and get United get Ten Hag in a title race this season.
Not this season. I think losing 9 games already spells doom and disaster. City got to come back around. We've got to come back around. Liverpool got to come back around. You know, and that's excluding the occasional.
They've got Tottenham on the weekend.
That's you've got to go to Molyneux.
Yeah.
Like that's excluding all of these other losses that could happen.
Brentford.
Yeah, you know, Tony talking about I want to keep Brentford up, and
yeah.
So it's like if you've lost 9 already. And I think the worst thing with United is the mentality. I can see you losing however many.
Yeah, they're not going to. That's why because I don't think anyone really is going to pull them out of it. But moving on, top goal scorer,
Haaland.
Yeah, Haaland. We don't really need to say much on
easy.
That. Bottom 3:
Sheffield United, Burnley, and Luton.
Yeah, I've gone this. I didn't want to put Luton in.
I didn't want to put Luton in.
I tried to put another team in, but I just Forest, Palace, Everton.
They'll do
it. They all have, in my opinion, better credentials to stay in the league.
Better quality managers, players, know-how.
Yeah.
When it comes down to crunch time,
they'll pick up points home and away.
Yeah, that Decore stint at the end of at the end of last season, he's out. He's out injured, by the way. So it's like when these guys come back into the team and
even Bournemouth, I think they'll have more than Luton probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to go with those 3. And lastly, the next manager sacked.
I think it's going to be Vincent Kompany.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I considered Vincent Kompany, but if Burnley haven't sacked him already,
why would they?
I can't see them sacking.
I think Burnley are one damaging loss away from. All right, fine. We hear the cries.
They're one damaging loss away from one damaging loss.
I know. I hear you, but I just think that clubs lower down the league are more likely to panic, especially because other clubs have panicked around them and seen success. Like Forest they've got rid of their manager, and now they're starting to pick up points, starting to play better football. I think Luton will keep their guy. I think he's done a good enough job.
I don't think that'll be a smart decision from Burnley though. And normally I would say Vincent Kompany's been horrific. If Burnley want to stay in the league, they need to sack him. But they're not going to stay in the league. With the crop of players they have,
it's not enough.
They're not going to stay in the league. So if they try and get someone in who's going to try and play a different brand of football, those players are going to fold.
And that's the thing. I think Burnley are not going to make a smart decision. I think they're going to look at the money on the table and think, all right,
they're just going to hit the panic button.
All right, wait, you said it's like 200 mil to stay in? We've got to do everything. We've got to do everything that we can. Maybe it might not even be Burnley's loss. It might even be like Luton lose a game and Burnley don't win. And they're like, wait, how are we not capitalizing? If we can't do this, we ain't going nowhere. And even like how Burnley got rid of Sean Dyche toward the end of last season or the season before last? Because obviously they went down. They got rid of Sean Dyche 4 games before the end.
Before the end. Yeah.
It's like you might as well have just kept him.
And he might have kept him up.
You know. So I think,
and they got rid of him to have Ben Mee as player manager. It was not good. It was not good.
So I just think the panic button could very well be hit down there.
I went with Eric Ten Hag,
and that's a fair choice. I wonder what Ineos are going to be doing,
because once this Ineos thing I think, especially like you say, man, they've already got 9 losses with all these teams yet to come around. And we both said we don't think that we can't see them turning it around. If it continues like this, I do think that Ineos might. The only way they don't is if they think, we'll wait till the end of the season because there's no point bringing in an interim
manager,
like a Ralph Rangnick type of thing again. we may as well just stay with Eric Ten Hag and then get our guy in the summer. That's the only way he might stay. But I think if they do commit and they make the decision, he'll go.
I think there is not that many like world class top managers available on the market right now. I think that's what makes it tough.
But yeah, that is all of our awards and predictions. We'll do MVP and Rookie of the Week.
Yeah.
MVP I will give to.
I got one off the top of my head.
Go on.
Eric Spoelstra from the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
$120 million deal over 8 years.
Yeah.
He's already been there for a good, like 19 years or however long it's been.
I can't remember who it was, but someone told me, Eric Spoelstra's story of how he became the Miami Heat manager.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He was
he's like
working or cleaning as a janitor or something.
And then the coach was like, Pat Riley was like, I see something in you.
Yeah.
And then he got him doing like film. Like he was the guy who would like, all right, these are the tapes. Tell the players
the analysis.
And then
he just kind of like. So yeah, crazy story. Yeah, contract. Yeah, that's a good one.
First of all, there is an NBA coach. Can you imagine a manager coming out and saying, "Yeah, I'm on a $120 million deal, or £120 million deal, for 8 years." Imagine Arteta signed a $100 million deal tomorrow. What are we talking about?
But the money in the NBA is crazy.
100 for a coach.
Yeah,
like there is arguably in sports there is nobody more indispensable or easily indispensable than a coach. Like you could just there is a guy like.
But that doesn't really seem to be the case in basketball. It's because even Greg Popovich, well, he's been Spurs coach for what seems like 20 years.
No, it's been over 20 years. He was doing that. He was there for the Duncan era. By that time, he was already there for 10 years.
Exactly.
But it is, but it isn't, because like in basketball, there's a couple guys that stick around for. It's like any sport. To be fair, there's a couple guys that stick around for a long time, and then there's a couple guys that do like a 4 or 5 year stint, and then just join another team.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse, who used to be for the Toronto Raptors, is, I don't know where he is now, but he's in another NBA team. Wherever he is. Frank Vogel, who won it with the Lakers, is now coaching.
Ime Udoka, Celtics, the Rockets.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there is like a merry-go-round.
Even Steve Kerr's assistant at the Lakers is now managing.
You get a job
managing some Phoenix, maybe.
Yeah, like you always end up getting a job. There is a massive trade that happens, and a player comes in and says, "I refuse to work for this manager." A player's I can't work with him. He has to go. And like that, the manager honestly finds a job in days. Literally days.
No, I think Eric Spoelstra is a good one. I was gonna say Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
For the halfway buzzer beater, insane shot to win the game.
I got a shout out, obviously, to be fair, LeBron as well, because I saw the other day that he's like the third all-time Lakers top 3 maker. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
For a franchise as big as the Lakers to be there as short as he's been, to already be on those accolades of. LeBron, he's not even a guy that makes threes. Like he can make threes, but it's not even like I'm banking on LeBron making, 4 or 5 threes a game. I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole nother ridiculous sort of accolade to bring onto his thing.
I think I'm gonna give one to KDB as well.
Because came
back, instant assist,
done his thing.
But mainly I'm going to give it to KDB for his comments afterwards.
What was he saying?
Where he came out and said, I don't expect to start many games.
Yeah.
He said, I expect to be on the bench. I know Pep's gonna want to manage the minutes. I know there's other guys that can come in and play. And just the guy's fully aware. He's fully aware that his team might not really need him until March. So he'll play rotational minutes. He said, I've just come back from a big injury. So it's going to take time. He said he expects to be on the bench against Newcastle. He actually came out and said that, right? Because Pep's probably told him, like, you're not getting minutes yet.
Yeah.
You
want to tweak this again?
It wouldn't surprise me if he's training with the under-21 still.
I think he's on his own routine. Like, he has 3 days off in the week. He comes in for 2 days.
Yeah.
It's just whiteboarding stuff.
If we see KDB at UFC 300
in
Abu Dhabi in the middle of February.
No surprise.
But and then I think when it's time for Pep to say, now.
I don't know how recent this was, but I saw him, or I was reading something today on Twitter just about he was talking about Raheem Sterling. And he was You know, when I came in, I thought he was just going to be some arrogant sort of like
because that's how the papers are.
yeah. I just thought it was interesting. A
Went
different
on to say he's a
perspective.
great guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
messages
nothing
is,
like.
you know.
And then rookies. Anyone you want to give it to?
Yeah, this is Kivio.
Yeah,
Just be better.
yeah.
Just
Sunderland.
keep your neck up straight. Yeah, Sunderland.
You let me down, man. I was so hungover on Saturday morning as well, but I was like, I'm definitely getting out of bed for this game. And you just let me down massively. It was just such a bad game. But one other rookie, the rookie I'm going to give, and he's got a rookie of the week on this podcast before, but he needs to get another one because Joey Barton.
Yes, I was also going to mention him.
What are we doing now?
What are we
man?
doing
Someone
now?
take this guy's social media
What are we
away
doing
from
now?
him.
What are we doing now?
Take his Twitter away. Just take it away from him. This guy is not putting out anything helpful. He's just causing problems.
I've also got to give Gary Neville a rookie of the day, just because Joey Barton said what he said about them being serial killers.
Yeah.
And then Gary just went on this whole, my sister was working in this. My brother, when he took over the England team, my mother who used to love the football game, we need to support these women. I was like, all right, come on, Gary. It's not really about you at this point.
Like, and where was all that energy, Gary, when it was your teammate?
Yeah. Graham said a lot of things in the stew about
yeah. And where was it when it was Ryan Giggs? And Ryan Giggs is going to court and all this stuff's coming out. But we won't get into that.
Yeah, we are.
This is a friendly podcast.
But we peep.
But we see you, man.
Yeah, you have a podcast of your own as well.
Yeah.
You know,
you'll come out and you'll act Joey Barton. But that's the one thing where almost everything Joey Barton has said is wrong. Right? And I'm not agreeing with it, and I'm not validating it in any sort of way. But the one person that will come back and will just say things that you don't think people will say on social media is Joey Barton. So when Gary Neville came and said that, there's no way Gary Neville thought Joey Barton's going to bring up my ex-teammate, my best friend, class of 92 member that I've never spoken about. I've shoved that down. And then Gary Neville went silent. Didn't see him.
He didn't say anything else. Yeah, NDA. Stand out.
But Joey Barton, you can't be saying the stuff you're saying. You can't be coming out with that sort of stuff.
No, that comparing them to serial killers was a crazy leap. But I don't know what he wants. He's already been on Piers. He's not been on like Good Morning England or whatever it is. So I wonder what he wants out of this other than to just.
He's not going to get a punditry role on any
stirred up pot
like TV company.
Yeah, no way.
We said he must have a book coming out,
something,
or at least start a podcast.
Joe Rogan, an episode.
Like, get on YouTube, start a podcast. People might tune in for the first couple episodes, but yeah, man, you're getting a rookie of the week because some of the stuff you come out with is just outrageous.
It's diabolical.
But yeah, other than that, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna actually have to give me a new rookie of the week for the signing of the season episode and laughing at that.
Yeah,
and that thing in particular. I will hold that one because honestly, if you go back and listen to it, that's probably the hardest we've laughed at anything on this podcast. it was. I listened to it and I was like, right, this is actually just disrespectful, man. We have showed no respect on this list.
I can bite my tongue. I was wrong. I remember deliberately criticizing Cole Palmer for being a deadline day signing when they had Nani and everybody else, and turns out he's better than all those guys.
But look, that's what we're here for, man. We'll give the hot takes, but when we're wrong, we'll admit it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with a Premier League roundup. Obviously, the games are separated out, but we will talk about the ones that happen this weekend. So tune in for that. If you've made it to the end of the episode, let us know in the comments your awards, who you think should have got them. If there was anyone we missed, any managers we missed, any players we missed, your best moments of the season. Subscribe, like the video, follow us on Spotify, and we'll see you next week.
Peace. One love.